Don't give up now. Right while you were reading yet another notification, doubting this would ever happen to you, I had already started turning a heart in your direction. Suddenly, something's going to shift. And when you understand what's already in motion, you'll see why this wait lasted exactly as long as it did. Not a day longer, not a day shorter. Stay until the end of this video. Before it finishes, you're going to receive a simple protocol to recognize and welcome this approach without forcing anything and without running after anyone. I'm asking just one thing. Don't close this app right now. What's coming next is the part you need to hear most, and it won't repeat itself the same way again. You've spent nights scrolling through couple photos on social media, feeling that tightness in your chest that nobody noticed. You smiled at the screen, liked the post, left a kind comment, and then put your phone down in the dark of your room, alone with the question that won't go away. Why does everyone else seem to have found someone, but not me? You asked that question softly, barely daring to hear your own voice say it again. You've let the wrong person in just because they showed up at the right time. It wasn't what you wanted, it wasn't what you'd prayed for, but it was what was available. And loneliness has a way of making availability look like an answer. You tried. You gave it your all. You ignored the signs you knew were there from the start. And in the end, you paid the price for mistaking presence for purpose, company for destiny. You've sent that "I'm fine" with your handshaking right after another disappointment. You typed fast, deleted it, typed again, choosing the lightest words possible so nobody would ask too many questions, so nobody would see the real size of the fall. And while the screen showed just 2 short words, inside you were crumbling in silence, once again, alone in the middle of so many connected people. You've looked at yourself in the mirror early in the morning, before anyone else woke up, asking yourself what's wrong with you. You searched for flaws in your face, in your history, in the way you love too much or love too little, trying to find a logical explanation for an absence that logic will never explain. You counted on your fingers how many relationships you've tried, how many times you've opened up, how many times you've come home with a heavier heart than when you left. You seek, you dedicate yourself, you do everything right, and yet abundance never comes. And the worst part, you start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you're being heard up above, if it's meant for you at all. It's not a lack of faith or worthiness. It's a spiritual blockage that ordinary prayer alone cannot break. The Miracle Journal unblocks this in 21 days with a spiritual protocol that works exactly where your prayer doesn't reach. Along with the journal, you'll also receive as a gift the prayer guide and the Psalms manual with the most powerful sacred practices and texts to deepen your transformation. To claim your version of the journal, tap the link in the comments right below this video. You've tried, how many times you've opened up, how many times you've come home with a heavier heart than when you left. Feeling this isn't weakness. It's not impatience or lack of faith or emotional exaggeration from someone who can't wait. It's the real exhaustion of waiting without any visible sign that somewhere, someone is also waiting. It's the weight of keeping alive a hope that nobody else can see from the outside. You've heard more than once well-intentioned phrases that hurt more than they helped. When you stop looking, you'll find it. Maybe you're just too closed off. You're too picky. That's why you're alone. Each of those phrases was stored, swallowed, revisited alone at night, turned into more evidence that maybe the problem really was you. But none of those phrases carries the whole truth. None of them knew what I know about your timing. And still you keep standing. You keep getting ready. Keep going to work. Keep smiling in photos. Keep praying at night, even when the prayer feels like it falls into emptiness. That has a name. It's called faithfulness. And heaven saw every one of those nights. Every message deleted before sending, every tear held back in the bathroom so nobody would notice. If this word has reached you, hit that like button now before you keep watching. The like is your public amen. It's the simplest way to say, in front of everyone, that this word found its exact place inside you. Heaven records what you confess openly, not what you hide afraid of being seen or judged. I promise 3 things before I continue, and each one of them will be fulfilled within this very video. First, the delay you're living through is not rejection. It never was. It's the exact time I used to prepare 2 hearts simultaneously at the same pace for the same meeting. While you're maturing on one side, someone is maturing on the other, and both processes need to finish together, so the meeting is neither premature nor late. Second, you will receive, still in this video, a clear protocol to recognize and welcome this approach without forcing any path and without running after what is already being sent to you. It won't cost money. It won't require any complicated technique, just a willing heart. Third, by the end of this message, you will be able to declare, with your mouth and your body, that you've stopped fearing the wait and started waiting with certainty. The difference between these 2 things will become clear before this video ends. I placed you in front of this screen today because this word is for you, specifically for you, not for a generic audience. I know how many times you almost stopped believing that the right love existed for someone like you. I saw every one of those nights when you almost gave up believing in love. None of them went unnoticed. None were ignored up there, even when it seemed like down here no one was watching. Close your eyes for a moment if you want, or just look away from the screen for a second, because what's coming now needs to be received with full attention, not divided between this message and 3 other open tabs. There are physical signs, real ones, measurable in your own routine, that show this approach has already begun. Some you've been living for weeks without knowing how to name them properly. Others you've called coincidence, tiredness, luck, chance. Let's name each one of them, one by one, calmly. The first sign is waking up in the middle of the night with a quiet chest for no apparent reason. You open your eyes at a strange hour, like 3 in the morning, and there's no fright, no anxiety pounding in your chest, just a stillness that doesn't make sense for someone who's been alone so long. You called it simple insomnia, daily stress, too much coffee in the afternoon. Actually, it's your spirit feeling a movement that your mind still can't catch or translate into words. Something is being aligned while the world sleeps around you, and your body wakes exactly to witness it, even without understanding. The second sign is recurring dreams of a face you can't see clearly, or just a sensation of presence beside you, without a defined form, without a name, without details that stick in your memory after waking. You woke up trying to remember the details, and they slipped away like water between your fingers, leaving only a warm feeling of company. You called it a silly dream, a tired mind making up stories to fill the night's emptiness. Actually, it's the heart on the other side being revealed to you before the face, because what's being formed first isn't the appearance. It's the spiritual recognition between 2 destinies that haven't yet met in physical time. The third sign is that sudden attraction to new places, environments that never caught your attention before, different routines that suddenly feel right with no logical reason you can explain. A desire to change your route to work, to try a new spot, to accept an invitation you'd have turned down without a second thought before. You called it boredom, a desire for change with no purpose. Actually, the path is being redesigned silently, so that 2 trajectories that would never have crossed begin to draw closer, step by step, without either of them seeing the full picture yet. The fourth sign is the urgency to search fading away. You've noticed you're no longer chasing, no longer forcing conversations that don't flow, no longer jumping on apps just to fill the night's emptiness, no longer accepting any attention just to feel less alone. You called it giving up, being too tired to try one more time. Actually, it's a silent certainty settling inside you, the kind of certainty that doesn't need to rush, because it already knows, on a level reason hasn't reached yet, that the meeting is on its way and doesn't depend on your hurry. The next sign is the hardest one to hear. It's the one the enemy spent the most time trying to make you ignore, because he knows that if you recognize this clearly, you'll stop doubting for good, and doubt was the only weapon he still had against you. The fifth sign is your heart quieting down in front of the word alone for the first time in a long while. You hear that word or think about it during the day, and that panic-induced tightness that used to come doesn't show up anymore. That urgent feeling squeezing your chest. A strange peace comes instead, almost inexplicable for someone who used to suffer just thinking about it. You wanted to call it resignation, giving up on feeling, settling for a life without a partner. But it's not resignation, it's certainty. It's the kind of peace that only exists when the spirit already knows what the mind hasn't seen with its own eyes yet. Maybe you've lived just one of these signs. Maybe you've lived all five, without ever stopping long enough to connect them and see the full picture. It doesn't matter how many you recognized. What matters is that from now on, you won't call coincidence what is, in fact, approach. If any of these signs reached you just now, if at least one of them described a night of yours, write the word free in the comments. Write it not because someone is asking for likes or engagement, but because you recognized in yourself the beginning of something that was already in motion before you realized it. Close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath. Once, slowly. What I'm about to tell you doesn't work if your attention is split between this screen and the rest of the world. There's a woman in the Bible named Ruth. She was a foreigner, a widow, without possessions, without a safety net, living in a land that wasn't hers, surrounded by customs that weren't hers. She could have spent her days desperately searching for someone to rescue her from that vulnerable condition. She could have forced meetings, insisted on conversations, put herself in the spotlight at any cost. But that's not what she did. Ruth went to work in the fields, gathering what was left of the harvest, doing what needed to be done where she was with daily faithfulness, without chasing Boaz, without an approach strategy, without any rush. And it was right there, in the field, being faithful to what was in front of her, that Boaz noticed her. He asked who that woman was. He approached first. He acted first. Ruth didn't run after Boaz. She stayed in the right place, doing the right thing, day after day, and she was found right there. Now think of two radio frequencies, each vibrating on its own channel, in different places, with no contact between them. They only meet when they stop trying to force sync with each other and adjust, each in its own time, to the exact same vibration. Nobody needs to shout louder to be heard on the radio. You need to be on the right frequency, at the right time, tuned in a way that no brute force can produce, no matter how hard you try. You've already tried shouting louder to be noticed by someone who wasn't on your frequency. You've already tried adjusting too much, molding yourself, fading a bit of who you really are to fit someone who wasn't meant for you. That's not tuning. That's noise disguised as effort. Just as Ruth remained faithful without chasing anyone, and just as two frequencies only meet when they stop forcing and adjust to the same vibration, you don't need to run after anything or anyone right now. You need to stay in the place where you can be found, taking care of your field, your routine, your character, your faith. It's different from just sitting around waiting for anything to fall from the sky without any effort. It's remaining faithful, present, whole in the field where you are, while the approach happens on the other side, synchronized in the right time. If you recognized yourself in this story, in Ruth's faithfulness, or in the image of the two frequencies adjusting, write in the comments Ruth of the field. Write it to remind yourself that faithfulness in the right place never goes unnoticed before heaven. Let me pause for a full minute before continuing, because what's coming now needs space, not hurry. You've already recognized the nights of silent loneliness you carried alone, without anyone around knowing the real weight. You've already identified at least one of the signs as something living inside you right now, without having to search hard. You've already heard that this delay had purpose, not absence of care, not forgetfulness, not neglect. And you're about to know who this weight is forming inside you, who you've already become without realizing it. What you're about to hear is not a human title. It's not an empty compliment or a ready-made self-help phrase for just anyone. It's what I call you when I speak to heaven about you. I saw the faithfulness of continuing to believe even without visible proof, and that has a name before me, a name that nobody else has given you yet. The first identity is the chosen one, in preparation. You already are that now. Not someday you will be. You already are. I saw the silent care you had for someone who hasn't even arrived yet, guarding your heart even without any guarantee of return, even when it seemed easier to give yourself to anyone just to avoid feeling the emptiness. That did not go unnoticed before me. What this identity authorizes is for you to stop rushing into wrong connections just to avoid another night alone. Because someone who is already the chosen one in preparation doesn't need to settle for what's left over. The second identity is the already recognized in heaven. I saw the exact moment when two destinies were aligned, long before any physical meeting happened here on earth, even before you knew of each other's existence. Before you saw each other, I had already brought together what was meant to come together, had already started moving circumstances, places, times. What this identity authorizes is for you to start waiting with genuine, light, almost childlike expectation, not with anxiety disguised as hope that consumes you from the inside. The third identity is the bearer of the right frequency. I saw the maturity of refusing what was easy, to stay in what was true, even when it hurt, even when it seemed simpler to accept anything just to fill the silence of the house. What this identity authorizes is for you to live fully now, today, this week, without putting your own life on pause until the meeting happens, without postponing joy, travel, growth, dreams, waiting first for another person. If you received any of these identities just now, write in the comments which one is yours. The chosen one in preparation, the already recognized in heaven, or the bearer of the right frequency. Writing is declaring, and what is declared out loud or in writing takes root faster inside you. And if this message reached you, subscribe to this channel now, because there are other words being prepared exactly for the moment when you will most need to hear a voice like this one. I have a protocol for you. It's called the Silent Approach Protocol, and it's just 3 simple steps, with no complicated technique, no strange ritual, just sincere willingness of heart. The first step is to name in prayer today the desire to be found without forcing any path. It's not asking for a specific person with a name and characteristics you've chosen. It's not negotiating a deadline with me. It's simply declaring before me, in your own words, that you desire to be found in the right time, in the right way, without any manipulation on your part, without forcing doors that aren't ready to open yet. The second step is to release the last person or the last wrong expectation that still occupies the space of the promise. It could be someone you still check on social media in secret. It could be an old hope you know, deep down, is already dead, but you haven't had the courage to bury yet. As long as you hold on to what wasn't meant to stay, you close the door to what's coming. Let it go today, now, in this prayer. Not because that person didn't matter in your story, but because the place they occupied inside you needs to be free for whoever truly belongs there. The third step is to give thanks before you see. Declare gratitude for the preparation that is already underway, even without any visible proof yet, even without any message, any meeting, any external sign confirming anything. Anticipated gratitude is what separates someone who is waiting with faith from someone who is just waiting with fear, disguised as patience. The sign that you received this protocol won't be sudden euphoria. It won't be that flutter in your stomach from anxious expectation, checking your phone every 5 minutes. It will be a stillness in your chest whenever you think about the future, whenever someone asks if you're okay being alone. A peace that needs no explanation to anyone. If you're receiving this protocol now, if you've already taken the 3 steps in your thoughts, or will do it as soon as this video ends, write the word received in the comments. This isn't a formality or an engagement number. It's your way of saying that what was delivered here won't fall to the ground, won't be forgotten tomorrow. In the next 72 hours, 3 things will be thrown against you. not as a distant possibility, as a certainty. Pay attention now, because each one of them will come disguised as something good, something reasonable, something that looks like care. The first tactic is called the clock pressure. It will arrive disguised as concern from friends and family, asking why you're still alone, hinting that time has passed, comparing your life to those who've already found someone, already married, already had kids. That question doesn't come to truly help you. It comes to plant doubt exactly where I've already planted promise, to make you doubt the timing I chose for you. The second tactic is called the wrong person sent to distract. It will arrive disguised as immediate relief for your loneliness, at the exact moment you're most tired of waiting, most vulnerable, most willing to accept any attention just to feel like someone cares. It will look like the easiest answer, the fastest one, the one that demands least from you. It will look like the end of the pain, but what relieves quickly isn't always what builds truly, and you already know that from your own experience. The third tactic is called the voice of it's already too late. It will arrive disguised as realism, as adult maturity, as practical common sense, making it seem sensible to give up waiting, making it seem naive to keep believing in a promise that hasn't yet been fulfilled in your sight. That voice will offer you immediate comfort in exchange for your long-term faith. And there's still the internal enemy, which is the most dangerous of the four, because it doesn't need third parties to act. It already lives inside you. It's the thought that you've already waited too long to still deserve something real. It's the voice that whispers that maybe you're not enough, that maybe the love I promised is for someone else, never for you, always for the other person, never for the viewer of this message. That voice does not come from me. It never has. It never will. These three tactics usually don't come all at once. They come one at a time, spaced out as if they were separate coincidences, unrelated to each other. But now you already know the name of each one. And what has a name loses its power to catch you by surprise. When the clock pressure arrives disguised as an innocent question, you will recognize it. When the wrong person arrives disguised as relief, you will recognize it. When the voice of it's already too late arrives disguised as common sense, you will recognize it, and you will choose to keep standing anyway. If you're ready to refuse these three tactics and silence that inner voice right now, write the word "protected" in the comments. The decree was sealed at the exact moment you wrote that word with sincerity. Now put your hand over your chest. Close your eyes, if it's safe to do so. Take a deep breath. Once, slowly, letting the air out, without rushing. I want you to release now 3 burdens you've carried for too long, burdens that have weighed more than they should. Release the comparison with those who've already found someone. That unfair ruler you used against your own story, against your own time. Release the fear of waiting in vain, that fear that made you distrust even my clearest promises. And release the hurry to fix loneliness at any cost, that urgency that has already made you accept what wasn't for you, just to avoid feeling the weight of the silence at home. Say it out loud, if you can, or only within your heart, if you can't speak right now. I release these burdens now, and I will not pick them back up tomorrow. I saw you that night looking at couple photos on your phone screen, feeling your chest tighten without anyone around you, knowing what was happening inside. I was there, closer than you imagined. I saw every second of that silence, every sigh you held back to keep from crying. I saw the "I'm fine" you typed with your hand shaking, right after another disappointment, choosing small words to hide a pain too big to fit in a text message. I read what was behind those 2 short words. I never believed them the way you wanted others to believe them, because I always knew the complete truth. I saw you in front of the mirror early in the morning, before anyone else woke up, looking for flaws where there were no flaws at all, trying to understand an absence that human logic will never be able to explain on its own. I know the price you paid trying to explain to someone what you were feeling. And when the words came out, they seemed too small compared to the real size of the pain. So you stopped trying to explain. And you learned to carry it in silence, alone, thinking no one else would understand. But I never stopped listening to what you couldn't say out loud to anyone, from scarcity to abundance, from loneliness to companionship, from confusion to clarity, from waiting to destiny. That's what I'm doing now while you listen to this message, even if your eyes still don't see any of it confirmed. I cover your mind against every comparison that tries to diminish you from today on, against every ruler others try to place over your life. I cover your relationships against every wrong person sent to distract you from the promise that is already on its way. I cover your time because my time is never late, even when it seems so to eyes that only see the human calendar. And I covered every area of your life where loneliness tried to convince you that you were forgettable, disposable, less important than anyone else you know. You are not forgotten for a single day. You are being approached in silence, and the heart on the other side of your destiny has already started turning in your direction, even if neither of you fully understands why this is happening right now. I send you, from this moment on, to live this weight with your head held high, without hurry, without fear, without needing to prove anything to anyone who doubts you. I saw you when you chose to stay home alone once again, turning down some invitation, just because something inside you knew it was worth more to wait than to fill the emptiness with just any company. I saw that choice, even when no one else noticed. I saw the prayers said softly, in the car, in the shower, in the grocery store line, asking only not to lose hope, without asking for any specific name. Each one of those prayers rose up to me, and none was archived as impossible. Say it out loud now, even if you're alone, even if it's quiet. I do not give up now. What's mine is being prepared. After saying that sentence out loud, write the word "done" in the comments. Not as an empty ritual or an engagement number, but as a real record that something happened inside you while this message touched your heart in a way no other had touched it before. Share this video now with one specific person you know is also waiting in silence, tired of pretending everything is fine in front of others. Don't send it to some random group. Don't post it generically. Send it directly to the name that came to your mind right now, because that person also needs to hear that their delay has purpose, just like yours did. And if they want to go beyond what this video can offer, the link is in the first comment. Waiting just like it waited for you until this exact moment. If this message reached you today, and you know it wasn't by chance, the next video on this channel was prepared to continue exactly where this word stopped now. It's no coincidence you made it here, sitting at exactly this hour, listening to exactly this message. And it won't be a coincidence what comes next in your life. Mark this date. Mark this hour. Because sometime from now, when the meeting finally happens, you will look back and recognize this video as the exact moment you stopped doubting and started waiting the right way. It is done. You are not the same person you were when this message began. You seek. You dedicate yourself. You do everything right, and yet abundance never comes. And the worst part, you start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you're being heard up above, if it's meant for you at all. It's not a lack of faith or worthiness. It's a spiritual blockage that ordinary prayer alone cannot break. The Miracle Journal unblocks this in 21 days with a spiritual protocol that works exactly where your prayer doesn't reach. Along with the journal, you'll also receive as a gift the prayer guide and the Psalms manual, with the most powerful sacred practices and texts to deepen your transformation. To claim your version of the journal, tap the link in the comments right below this video.